Go ahead, Karen. Welcome to our regular meeting of council in person and live streamed electronically for Tuesday, December 16th. Land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that the sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located, this meeting is being held, is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We'll have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. It's moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that the regular meeting of council agenda dated December 16th, 2025 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? And that's carried. Disclosure of interest now at any point in time during the meeting. Moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll and seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that the minutes from the regular meeting of council dated December 2nd, 2025 and the special meeting of council dated December 8th, 2025 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? And that's carried. Do we have any business arising from our last meeting? We have no delegations or deputations. We'll start with our report of municipal officers. Clerk Planning Manager Kirsten Beaudry, please.
Thank you, Chair. The report you have before you this evening is twofold. The first component is a revised 2026 council calendar that incorporates the relevant election dates from 2026 for visibility for current and potential candidates. So it notes the nomination period of May 1st to August 21st, the election day of October 26th. The proposal to change the November 17th council meetings to be the inaugural meeting, and a tentative council orientation session scheduled for Friday, November 27th. There's also a proposal to close the office on Friday, January 2nd of 2026. This would be the only day that week that the office would be open if the calendar were to remain as it currently is. Staff have canvassed other local municipalities and the majority are closed on January the 2nd. Staff would obviously have to use vacation time for that date. It's not a statutory holiday. Council have any questions?
No, I've seen several postings from the various municipalities in the area that they're closing on the 2nd and will reopen on the 5th. Yeah.
So the only thing on that one from a financial perspective is just the extension for the interest, because we're closed, so they can't come in to pay any outstanding balances, that we wouldn't apply it until the 6th, so the Tuesday.
That's good.
I thought you had a question there, so that's perfect. Okay, so moved by Councillor Crabtree and second by Councillor Abbas, that council approve the revised 2026 council calendar attached here too, and that council approves the grace period for interest application for Tuesday, January 6th, 2026, due to the office closure over the holidays. All in favor? And that's carried. Moved by Councillor Abbas and seconded by Councillor Johnson, that council approve the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting dated December 2nd, 2025, and approve the recommendations contained within. All in favor? Carried. We have about pictures. No motion, notice of motion, or action item is the Rideau Valley Conservation Authority letter. Do you want to speak to anything, Trevor, or?
Yeah, sure. Just a brief bit. I know everybody's obviously read the letter and stuff like that, but what's going to happen is Ontario government's going to have a conservation authority that is going to amalgamate these, I believe it's 8 CAs in Eastern Ontario into one. So they really haven't gotten into any sort of the details. They have said a lot of frontline staff won't be affected at all, but I think what will be affected is all the office staff. Because we have 8 other general managers, 8 other treasurers, all that kind of stuff. So to be determined how all that's gonna look, but just to know that that's coming. Also, a lot of the other townships have written letters saying that they don't approve of this happening. So whether we want to do something like that or not, I don't to be quite honest, I think it has no effect whatsoever. But some of the townships have put letters forward. So if that's something that we want to do, I'm sure we can get something written up and sent in, but right now, that's where we are. That's all the information we've really got.
Is there any in Lanark County? I know, I think this came up, at the last ECDAV meeting at the county, and it was one of our information items, and nobody moved it forward there as far as talking about it. I was kind of curious, anybody in Lanark County? I thought maybe it might have been a topic of discussion, but,
Yeah, it was funny, at the RVCA, there were some that were right away that wanted to write letters that, but I don't think the city of Ottawa even wrote a letter. Like it was an odd meeting because some people are very pro-environmental, this sort of, where a lot of the other people were, well, this actually would save us money, is this a better way to do this? That kind of stuff, so I don't know who would really wanna go forward with it. I don't know, it's up to you guys, I'll go either way with that, but I don't know how effective a letter actually is.
I don't know that a letter will be that effective, but has there been any pros versus cons discussions?
Yeah,
Like, it just seems, it's like, financially, I see it being better,
yeah,
cause, less bureaucracy, there's that.
yeah, and that's what they did, the RVCA had a pros and cons thing, but it's very slanted to keeping their jobs. And then one of the other townships, I won't name them, but they said, oh, I can't see any reason why this would be a good idea and all that kind of stuff, and I said about 4 off the top of my head. And do you want to be fiscally responsible in times when it's tough like this and hard decisions are made? Perhaps this isn't the way that a lot of people want it to go, but it's economy of scale. Like having 7 different ones is,
With potentially 7 different
Yeah.
rules.
well,
Where-
and
where
that's
the
exactly what
contribution-
happened, because when they did that thing where all of Montague basically became wetland.
Wetland.
Well, that wasn't supposed to work that way. It didn't work that way in a bunch of the other ones, so it is a lot of all over the map stuff that they're talking about when they do certain things, but it's, for me, I have a tough time not thinking that it's probably a pretty good idea.
yeah, I think they kind of go back, I know conservation already says, like, we could do this, we could, we could work together to make sure we're doing this kind of stuff, we could do this, they've said that about was their avocation to the province. It's like, well, if you could have done that, that's something you've already could have started. You're doing this, you're saying this now because your feet's in the fire. Like, this is something that I think
Yeah.
a lot of people have said. Why are they different? Why are we doing it different? Why is there different rules and different ones and everything else? And now they're saying, well, we could start doing that. And to me, it's like, well, you're only saying that now because your feet's in the fire. And it's, I mean, there's an idea of the way the watersheds fall, the way they have to split up, but I think they're not, they had this opportunity already to do on their own and they hadn't made that choice. So.
Yeah, because I know RVC and a couple of the other, they've worked together more than some of the other ones do, but it still has 3 different general managers, 3 different treasurers, 3 different this, it's a whole plethora of office staff, and that's what I think they're trying to do. And of course, there's all the conspiracy stuff, and well, this is a way to get around so we can, cut the CAs out, and it gets around environmental things, not, but that's all really a guess. Yeah, there's the one, so I'm not sure how many letters they got. They got a few, because some right away wanted to write letters, not that. I don't know, I'm not particularly in favor of writing a letter. If that's what we want to do, I'm certainly support it, but I just don't see where it does any good at all.
Considering we had letters come out to us about how the RVCA's negatively affected them.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be in our best interest to start writing a letter unless we know something that's negatively going to affect us by this change. But
Yeah.
right now, just by the conversation, being that you're actually on, there
Yeah.
in the meetings and a little more, I can't
Yeah.
see or hear anything, and you're pretty good about being, here's the brass tacks, and here's the issues I can see with it.
Well, and that was one of the things too, when we had the discussion, I told them, and I used this language, people showed up at our township with pitchforks and torches. They were so upset with the RVCA, so for me, it's a tough call on this stuff, like you didn't do us any favors. You know, and then when we tried to help you to, you know, you can't say it this way, you went and did it anyway, so. I don't know, we haven't had a good experience, in all honesty, and maybe some other townships have. But after that whole thing with, all of us being turned into wetlands, you know, it really, I don't know, it just, for me, it's about being fiscally responsible in a time when we have to be fiscally responsible, and I see more than a few pros to the amalgamation. I don't know if it'll reduce our voice, but when I looked there, I even got on the finance committee because I thought, well, okay, we get on the inside and see, we have no voice whatsoever. The city of Ottawa goes, you know what, we should have a 3% raise. Next day, out comes this thing, and I'm in the finance committee, go, we didn't even discuss this yet. Oh, well, Ottawa won. Well, thank you very much. You know, so for me, it's run by Ottawa anyway, so what does it matter to us?
But I think this is similar to like the health units being amalgamated to try and do some savings.
Yeah.
And Chair through you, so the province is also talking about amalgamating municipalities again for the same reason, so this is them just going through their mandate that they said they were gonna do.
No, and that is exactly what I said at the RVC. I said, the next thing, it will be township.
They said it, yeah.
And it'll be all the townships in Latter County, they might not exist overnight, and it would be just county. Like, you don't know what they're gonna do, but this is exactly the same path. And they've just started with the path of least resistance, it's the CAs, because a lot of people in the public have no idea they're even there. So, it's just one of those things, the steamroller is coming. And I don't know if us writing a letter, and also based on how it affected us negatively in the past, I don't know.
So moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, the council accept the correspondence from RBCA regarding the proposed consolidation of conservation authorities and creation of a provincial agency as information. All in favor? And that's carried. So we have, in camera coming up, any questions?
Sorry, Chair, through you, sorry, Tom. I should have requested that you amend the agenda. We'll be taking in-camera off. We don't have enough information
Okay.
provided back to give council any kind of a update.
Okay, so do we have any questions of our audience?
I have a comment in history that I'm aware of. Every place they've amalgamated, whether it's school boards, whether it's the cost has gone up and never goes down because you say you have so many heads of it now. What they do is, oh, we have this many people. The person has to be above them. They take a percentage of all that and add it on top. So the cost goes up when you amalgamate. It never goes down where I've been aware of.
Just ask Tom. Yeah, that was one of the conversations we had, because when you have this overarching authority, there is a president and general manager, CEO of that, and then there's a whole group, and then there is also another group of board members and that, so there's a whole other cost that comes with that. So whether or not they retrieve their costs, we'll see, but I hear you, what you're saying.
Well, I remember many places they said, oh, we're gonna amalgamate, it's gonna be cheaper.
Yeah,
And everywhere, when you look at the budget after, it went way up.
yeah.
And Chair through you, and to what Tom's saying is, I don't think it's so much that the province cares if it costs the municipalities less.
Yeah.
They're trying to then redo their funding model to provide less too, because there's less. So absolutely what we've seen from previous amalgamations is you still need the same number of public works, you still need those things. But I think it's that they're trying to find a way to reduce the funding provided through them to the lower tiers.
That makes sense.
Questions online? So before I close out, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I want to thank my fellow council members for a great year again. I want to thank all our fabulous staff for another fabulous year. We've got a lot accomplished this year with our new build and our 22 acres, so thank you to all of our staff. And thank you to our volunteers on all our committees. Thanks to Tom coming out for all our meetings as well. And thanks to our residents in general, supportive of what we are doing here in our township and making us very strong and mighty Montague. So with that, moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll and seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that bylaw 4185-2025 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its regular meeting held on December 16th, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed the 16th day of December, 2025. All in favor? Carried. And moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Councillor Abbas, that council adjourn the regular meeting of council of December 16th, 2025 at 6:15 p.m. until Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the college. All in favor? Carried.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Committee of the Whole in person, live stream electronically Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. We'll open with the land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that this sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is the ancestral unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. First order of business will be adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that the Committee of the Whole agenda for December 16th, 2025 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? Carried. And if there's any disclosure of interest, you can make it now or anytime throughout the meeting. Any delegations or deputations? Seeing none, we will move on. Report of municipal officers, municipal manager, treasurer, deputy clerk, Allison Barakin. Municipal donation allocations request 2026.
Thank you, Chair. So as council will recall, each year, we put out the municipal donations that closes at the end of November. So in front of you this evening is the requests that were received. We have not had the Perth Smith Falls District Hospital come and present to you this year, prior for the core capital campaign prior to this report. So it's not included. Chart 1 provides for the applications that were received. So we received a total of 15,480 worth of donation requests. Our budget line is 12,500. Staff have put a proposed amount for 2026 for council consideration for each of the organizations. In chart 2, I'll come back to discussions, but in chart 2 is the cemetery. So we left the cemetery amount of $900, which we've increased for your term on council. I believe it went from 500 to 900, so we've almost doubled it. They're very appreciative of it, and so the recommendation is to keep it at the 900 for this year, for 2026, in relation to that. So for the requests, we had a request from the Montague Forget Me Not Club for $5,000 to offset taxes and hydro. The club was advised that from the financial benefits of our senior active living center, that there would not be funding for 2026, and that there's some initiatives that council had requested that they do before any further financial benefits will be provided by the township. So I think for this one, council could advise them of 0, and if throughout the year they meet those requests from council, that some funds could be provided at that time. Because we will still have some funds left, and they met the requirement to meet the deadline at the end of November. Big Brothers Big Sisters, we have supported them for the last several years. They've put in again a $2,000 request to council. The Rideau Environmental League, again, they put in their $500 request, which we even promoted them in our August newsletter. Or March, might have been March's newsletter. We promoted for people to bring their like TVs and all those types of things there. So that has been a good working relationship as well. Pivotal Health Community Association, they did request $44.80 this year. We're proposing $22.40, so it would provide counseling for 2 people, 8 sessions each out of Aruma, I believe, for Montague residents. So that funding would go directly to Montague residents. The reason that we're proposing 50% is just they've applied every single year, to maybe give an opportunity to see what the benefit is, and for 2 individuals. I think that we need to also keep in mind that there's more people that are looking for this type of assistance. Rural FASD has requested $1,000 for busing of grades 4, 5, and 6 students from Montague Public School to Laura Reach for their National Accessibility Fair, similar to 2025. We have put in, not fire, we as staff, we've had a bit of discussion with council previously about fire's 50th anniversary. We're requesting that we have about $2,500 there to do a family fun day to celebrate the 50th. For members of the fire department and their families to be able to take part in, and not necessarily organize and run. We put our name forward for the to be the spotlight municipality at the Harvest Festival. If that's the case, and we need funds, we were looking at potentially the tourism from the county for those types of things, and part of the tourism maybe for our 50th anniversary. As long as council is fine with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I support what's been presented.
I'm the same one. Okay, that's good. Well then, moved by Councillor Bass, second by Reeve Jennings, that council approve the donations in chart 1 as discussed this date. And that council approve the cemetery donations in chart 2 as listed under 2026 and all proposed. All in favor? Carried. Any other reports from committees? Any petitions? None from Tom? Okay. Any motions or notice of motions? Yes, are moved? No.
Said as you had.
Okay, good. And any unfinished business or other business? Nope, okay. I'll move to adjournment if we don't have any other questions or comments. Do we have anything online?
No.
None, okay. let's, move to adjourn. Moved by Deputy Carroll, second by Councilor Crabtree, the committee of the whole meeting of December 16th, 2025. Now be adjourned at 6:25 PM. All in favor? Carried. Thank you all very much.